Hello, welcome to this part two of the talk. Last week on Friday, I'd spoken with Rhea Deepak, who's here with us today again. And she's going to talk about her vision for the future and her life goals. And before that, I'm going to give a small introduction again. My name is Anshu Vyas Seetharaman, and I represent the Wiki Karnataka Yoga Council. We are a state level council, and we represent the yoga sector of the council. This is a voluntary council of the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And we are a strong team of women from diverse fields and also some yoginis from different lineages and schools of yoga. We've come together to make a difference in various projects about yoga under four pillars, basically. Those are advocacy, community, funding, and governance. So I have here with me the beautiful, hardworking Rhea Deepak. So Rhea, welcome to the
Hi.
part of this talk. Hi. Last week, Rhea, you were talking about your where you want to be in a year from now, and you spoke about travel plans. So that was really interesting. So why don't you continue from there?
So I was discussing with you how I was supposed to travel this year a lot to different countries, different cities, to do small workshops and probably, teach there for a month each. However, plans of that are obviously postponed due to the current situation, and all of us had to resort to online class. Right, but hopefully once the situation does settle with the pandemic, hopefully I do get to revisit my plans and actually get to execute them this time, and gain as much as experience, as much exposure as I possibly can in this next year.
Okay, great. So some of the women in the council also were keen to know, what are your roles for the community? What do you intend to do for the community at large? And that's your social seva.
Social seva. Okay, I would say being a yoga instructor in itself is a very big seva to me personally. Because teaching somebody yoga, helping them not only physically with their physical health, but also mental health, how to be emotionally stable, as well as physical, obviously. I feel just helping a person get through their life with ease and good health is a seva in itself. Many students of mine come to me with a lot of problems, probably say, especially women come to me with menstrual irregularity, or problems in the abdomen where they have either small cysts, or problems pertaining to the uterus or things like that. And I feel yoga in that way has helped them a lot, because there are certain asanas, there are certain practices, if you do on a daily basis, help control the situation, or probably even help reverse the condition they have. So after months of practice and diligent consistent practice of theirs, they come back to me telling me that their results are so much better, they're feeling better, or probably they don't even have the symptoms anymore. So I feel not only for women, but even other students of mine, if they have back issues or knee issues, so many of these problems just so easily get reversed by very consistent practice of yoga. And I feel that in itself is such a huge seva, that we as yoga instructors, or we as yoga teachers provide to the society. So I feel just being a teacher in itself is a huge seva to me, which is so satisfying, because I don't really need to go out there or look out there to give back to society. I'm already doing that in my daily job. However, speaking, if there is an institute, or if there is a place that needs a certain kind of seva with where I can aid, or which I can help in, I would be more than happy to give a hand or join the community to give back to society.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, yeah. So even with me, like, I have a lot of women coming to me. In fact, women come because of the problem of conception, and I just put them on some asanas and in a regular class. and suddenly they stop coming, and I have to call and find out what's happened. So they say they've conceived. So it's like that, because that's how effective yogasanas are, and not just for this issue but for other issues. Like you mentioned, yoga is such a therapy. And now this is something that I was not so, because I came into yoga from meditation and also from fitness. So for me, I was in the beginning only using yoga as a fitness tool, and it's when I started on with it and I got into the depths of it that I realized that there's so much therapy that one brings into a class, on a daily basis. So I
Yeah.
totally agree with you there. Okay, so now about my goals so basically what I have done is I've aligned my goal with the Wiki Karnataka Yoga Council goal. And I had this dream about empowering women, maybe new mothers, to start teaching yoga as a something to do for themselves while they're looking after a baby. Or they could be new mothers, or just some women who have stopped working for some reason, taken a sabbatical, and don't want to go to a mainstream job. So for them to be able to learn yoga and then teach yoga to people, and maybe they could do an online class. Now that we have learned, all of us have learned about how to do online classes because of this pandemic. So women can work from the comfort of their homes, spend a few hours a day and teach other people, make a living. And that's what I did. I made a living. I also kept myself mentally and physically fit. So that's my goal. And that also answers my question about my vision for the future, and my goal for the year, and my social goals. Of course, I have also contributed in a small way, because I approached the Asha School of Developmental Disabilities, and I was working with children with special needs like autism and Down syndrome and mental retardation, and tried to do some movement classes with them a couple of years ago. But that's a field again which is now very professional, and you need to do a course in special education to be able to teach anything to those special kids. So so okay, so let's move on now, Ria. It's very interesting to know about a lot of things about you, and I'm sure in the course of the day, this talk today, we'll learn a lot more about you. So can you tell me, how do you integrate yoga into your daily life?
So when I began yoga, I didn't think it would have been a problem at all, because like I said, I used to do one class a day and thought, oh my God, it's super easy to, keep this up for the rest of my life. I can do this easily. But, little did I know, once I become a teacher, that teaching is going to really take over
Yeah.
majority of my day, scheduling classes, planning what to do, coming up with new things to keep your students engaged, and, see their progress. And once they're progressing, to take it a level higher. So so much of my attention, so much of my focus is going into my classes, going into my students and their progress, that I find it so hard to keep up with my own practice. And I don't want to let that go, because that is what even initiated this path of mine. My practice is what got me into this whole path of taking up yoga and wanting to teach it to people, because of how it made me feel. So integrating that into my day has been a task over the past 6 months. I find it very hard, but if need be, I will wake up an hour earlier in the mornings, just to get in a little practice of mine, or maybe after my entire days of work, I will allot that 1 hour time, at least 1 hour of time to my self practice. So since it's becoming hard to do that only by myself, I have looked out there, gone to a teacher, asked him, being like, will you take classes for me? So I have that scheduled time, and I cannot do anything else, because sometimes as a teacher, you kind of just push your practice,
Okay.
you delay it and just be like, okay, I can do it later, let me concentrate on this first, I can do it later, let me have a class, or maybe let me schedule a class in this time. So you kind of don't focus on your practice as much. But I was struggling with that, so I have allotted that time frame to someone, so I am accountable to it, right? So I'm accountable to him, and I have to attend my class, and he will take the class, and he will be the guru to me. So he will watch my progress, he will push me, he will test my limits, he will test my strength and endurance, and that way I am building on my daily practice as well. But it is not the easiest task to uphold that on a daily basis, but it's just diligence and your sadhana that keeps you going,
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, great. Nice. I like that you're working with a teacher and your guru. So that's
Yeah.
really awesome. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So I do that, something like that too. I wake up much earlier. And so I always wake up 2 hours before a class. And I just unwind. I have a big group on Facebook that I attend to. And if there are any queries or messages, so I answer those. I upload a video from my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel called Yoga 365, which I started in 2018. And every day of that year, from the 1st of January till the 31st of December, I uploaded one video every single day. And even till now, I feed that channel. I try to upload one video every day. So I do that also before my class. And then much before that, I devote at least half an hour to my practice. So which is my advanced practice, which is something that none of the students currently in my batch can do that level. So I just make sure that I do those certain asanas that I feel that I need for my age or level. So that's what I do. And other than that, I like to learn, and which you also mentioned the other day about the prenatal course that you did. So I did something similar. I did a pranayama course in the lockdown with the Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. It was an online course for 3 months, every single day, even on a Sunday. I did that, and I also write articles for yoga. So this is how I have integrated yoga into my life. And we as women we don't need just fitness, we also need to de-stress. So I try to meditate every day, and that's something that I've promised myself that I will do every single day. So that's what helps to bring mindfulness into a class. And I also feel that now for me, yoga is also spirituality, because there was this time that I felt that I didn't have funds. I wanted to open a center, but I didn't have funds. So I approached a temple to hire their hall to do classes, and they agreed. So obviously I cannot teach fitness in a temple. It had to be only purely yoga. So that's how I did that. I started with this nice lovely class with the temple bells ringing in the background, beautiful class for 6 years. And then I've moved it to Sri Aurobindo Society, which again has taught me to tap into energy levels. So now I tap into a whole lot of energy level from the elements, and I bring that for myself, for my own self, and also for the experience of my students in a class, and also for their healing. So that's what I do. Yeah. So now, Rhea, we'll move on. You want to talk about the prenatal course that you did? That was really interesting.
Yeah, so I had a lot of women approaching me when I was back in Chennai and before the whole pandemic hit. I had a lot of women approaching me, asking me whether I do teach prenatal yoga. And unfortunately, it is a very, delicate subject and a very delicate class to take, because you don't want to, put too much stress on the mother or the baby. So, I did not want to take up any of that at the point, because I had no certification in it. However, I did have, just a very general basic knowledge of how prenatal classes are taken and what must be done, what shouldn't be done in such classes. But obviously, without a certification, I did not want to risk anybody's health in that manner. So I thought it would be great if I actually did a certification and understood the whole concept of prenatal yoga. So that's what I did in the lockdown. I did a course online. Through one of the online portals that offer these courses, and it was a 12-week course, but it was an hour every day, so you could manage to do how many hours a day you could possibly manage to. So I did finish the whole course within 4 weeks, and I really enjoyed it. I really learned a great deal, and it's just like definitely expanded my horizon and things like that. So in the future, if any mother going to be mother comes to me for a course, I will be more than ready to take a class for them and help them out in the way they need.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm so happy that you did that course. Awesome. It's that's how we work hard and we bring more to the yoga mat.
Yeah.
And we keep the class also energized by continuously learning ourselves. All right. So now we have a very interesting question coming up, Rhea. So one of the ladies in the group, wiki group, suggested. When did you realize yoga was your inner calling?
When did I realize yoga
Yeah,
was my inner calling?
inner calling, yeah. And also, has reality matched perception? And if you have any story behind your choice, if you want to cover that again.
Okay, so this one's a good question, but a tough one. So, like I said, I joined my yoga classes just to, de-stress, get away, get a breath of fresh air in my day
Yeah.
from my work. And, I really, my body, like I told you, I took to it like a fish in water.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to enjoy my classes so much so that I felt, like I told you, again and again, I'm going to repeat it, but I felt like I was like in a meditative state, and that's what dragged me into it. And then like I said, I decided to do my course and everything. And while doing my course, I took my first class. So like everyone can aspire to be a yoga teacher, but not everyone does make it out as a yoga teacher, because there are so many hurdles to be crossed, and so many difficulties to be faced even in the teaching world. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I'd make a great teacher. So the only thing I knew that I wanted to try my hand at it, because this is what I really love doing. So that's what I went for, and I did my course in Mysore. And in Mysore, every week we had to, not every week, every day, one of us would be picked up and made to teach a class, teach the batch, like 4 to 5 asanas that we learned previously. So there was studying happening every day. There was, learning how to be a teacher happening every day. So obviously one day I was picked and I was asked to teach the class. I was so nervous going into the room because all of them had laid their mats out and they were waiting for me. And it was like a, proper classroom scenario. And I was like, oh my God, this is my first ever class, like ever as a
Yeah.
teacher. How do I do this? Like there were so many thoughts running in my head, and I was trying to keep my breath normal so that when I talk, they don't realize I'm nervous. So my voice doesn't waver. And, I don't get nervous like that. So I went and sat on my mat. I closed my eyes and I collected myself. I sat on my mat. I asked my students to close their eyes, and we'd begin with 3 Om chants. So I use that method even till today to collect myself,
Yeah.
collect my thoughts, and just, center myself before I start my class. So that's what I did the very first time as well. And that really helped. And while I was explaining, while I was giving instructions to my students to collect themselves, that's exactly what I was doing for myself. Actually, that small practice I do in the beginning of the class is less for my students and more for me.
Yeah.
And once I opened my eyes and I started, taking the class, started with each asana one after the other, it was like something else flowing through me. It was not me taking the class. It was not Rhea sitting there. It was not Rhea, dictating or instructing. It was just this energy just flowing through me, and I was like a third person watching myself take this class, and I was quite impressed. I was like, wow, you're doing a good job, but I'm
Yeah.
not you right now. I'm just watching you. I don't know. It was like
You
a very
transformed from a
experience.
student, you became a teacher in that moment.
Yes, it was kind of like that. So I feel like even till date, every class I take, it's not me. It's just this energy that flows through me,
Yeah.
and the class just flows. No matter what experience I had before the class, whether I've injured myself, or I'm in pain, or I've gone through like a distressing scenario, or if I've gotten really good news and I'm super happy, none of that affects me while I am taking the class, because like I said, it's not me. It's
Yeah.
completely different. It's a completely different world for that 1 hour.
Energy through you working
Yes,
with you.
yes, exactly. It was
I feel
something like
that.
that.
It's so
So, and then
amazing.
once I finished my class, I was like, whoop, I'm back in, and I was just like, wow, what was that experience? It was
Yeah.
something I had never experienced before. So at that moment, I realized that this is exactly what I'm meant to do, because I've never felt this way doing anything else. Like absolutely nothing has made me feel this way. And I think that was my calling. And that's when I really realized that, okay, this is what I'm going to work,
Uh-huh.
like, so hard to, like, do every single day. Like however hard I have to work for it, I will do it, because this makes me feel magical. So
Okay.
yes, I think that was my calling.
Okay. So I have like a similar experience, but it goes way back, way back to my school days. And we had this tradition that one day of the year, um, every child gets an opportunity to lead the PT in the class. So,
Right.
and I would look forward to that day, and maybe I got more chances than others because maybe I worked harder at it or whatever. So I noticed that whenever I had to lead the PT, that's the day I would get ready very early before my other siblings and be standing at the gate excited. No other day of the year, whether it was an exam or normal day, would I be ready on time. I made everyone late every single day, and only for that. So I didn't even realize. So this was my calling, because that's what excited me the most. And anyway, so that's a funny incident that
Yeah,
used to happen with me.
that is quite cute.
So yeah. So now about my inner calling. Yes. Now, on a more serious note, so I was at the Ganeshpuri ashram, and I was undergoing the training. And one day I was told that there is some afternoon seva I have to do. So I was looking forward to it, and I tried to inquire about some details, and I was told that there were some old people arriving at the gate, at so and so gate number, and I had to receive them, and I had to get them to the internal courtyard where Gurumai would meet them, and she would give a small talk, and then they would leave, and I have to escort them back to the gate. So I was standing at the gate in the afternoon and hoping that there'll be a cab that'll come and stop, and some family or something. Suddenly 4 or 5 mini trucks came, and these old people who were in their 60s and 70s, wearing saris or dhoti, whatever, couples, just random people, they start jumping out of the back of the trucks, and somebody gestured towards the gate, and I was there, and I was told that this is the party that I have to lead inside. I was so amazed, and some of them had one eye covered. So they had come for a cataract eye camp close by, and Gurumai had called them to the
Oh,
ashram to meet them. That was such a sweet gesture. And then I led them to the courtyard. I couldn't understand what they were saying because they were talking in Marathi. And I led them in, and then I made them sit down, and we made sure the fans were on, and it was very cool. They were given some soft drinks and something to eat, and then Gurumai arrived, and then she spoke with them, and she gave each of them a blanket. She gifted them. It was such a gesture of love from her to them. And then I was told to lead those people back to the gate. And all the entire way back to the gate, they kept blessing me and thanking me. And I think in that moment, I became a gracious host. So that is something that I learned, how to welcome people from your heart. And even when they're leaving, give them that special send off from your heart, because that's what I received from them. So that was an amazing, and there were at least 400 of them that day. So that's one incident that told me that my inner calling was different than a commercial life, and different than advertising, and different than. So, and then another incident happened, if I may. It was when I was once walking up to Tirupati from the steps, and I saw this man. He was not very old, maybe he was in his 40s, and he just couldn't walk. He was just crawling, and he seemed fine. And I just stopped and I asked him, "What's wrong with you?" And he said that he had some issue with his legs. So he had tremendous leg pain, he said, in his calves, and he pointed to the hamstring. So I just led him to a shelter. I said, "I can help you," and I showed him the hamstring stretch and quadricep stretch. And his family was waiting, my family was waiting, and they were all watching. And then I told him to rest for a while and made him do the legs up the wall. And I said, "Just be there for 10 minutes, and then maybe you'll be able to walk better." So then when we went to the top and we finished our darshan and we were coming out, and I saw the same man walking completely upright. And then he ran towards me and he said, "Thank you, doctor. You really helped me." And I was so embarrassed. I said, "No, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a yoga teacher." So that was like a real life incident where, I mean, it's sudden, the impact on him, yeah. So he recovered so fast. So that's what I wanted to say.
I would
So
have felt so wonderful.
yeah, it really felt super, Rhea. Okay. So I think all of us have these beautiful incidents. And now, the last session that we had, Rhea, there was this lady who directed a question at you specially. She said, "What do you suggest for corporates who know that their employees suffer from stress? What do you in general suggest for them, and how to approach them?" Would you like to answer that?
I was just going to ask you, would you like to answer that? Because you have taught corporates. I haven't have had an experience with them. So would you like to share something?
Okay. Yeah, surely. So you first of all you have to put together a presentation and go and speak with the facilities and the HR. It's more the facilities nowadays, facilities manager, and you speak to them about stress in the daily life. You talk about some statistics, and then you tell them what you can do and what your experience is and how a session will help. And then you do a trial session for a small team of people. And once that works and they realize how good they feel, then you can introduce it on a larger scale, and you can do it for all the employees. And it could be at an offsite, it could be at their office, it could be done in any way. So it definitely has a lot of benefits, and it improves productivity to a large extent. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so okay, great. So so we've spoken about reality and perception also, Rhea. So now I'd like to say that, like I said in the beginning, I never felt that yoga was such a universe. I did not know there was a yogasana for each and every ailment, and not just to cure it, or to also prevent it. So those are things that completely changed for me once I got into yoga. And I think we've come to the end of this session, and we have a question about are you making a decent living out of yoga? I know, like I said last time, this is a tricky question, but you can think about it for a couple of minutes. And
But important to discuss, because there I know so many people who do want to take up this line, but they're so worried they won't make a decent living out of it, or they'll be struggling. They probably have to work another job and do this on the side because it's their passion, but they're so skeptical of taking it up as their only career.
yeah,
So definitely, I mean, it is tricky to talk about, but it is very, very necessary, I'd say. um
yeah,
for me, to be very honest, I feel I've been very lucky that I did not have to think about it being
hmm,
immediately successful,
yeah,
because like I said, my parents have been in complete support of my decision from day one. And they
hmm,
have said that whatever course you want to do, how much ever you want to get deeper into this, we will treat it as your education, as your further studies, and help you learn as much as you can until you find your grounding and you start you know uh, gaining back from it.
yeah,
But um, uh, it takes a while. I'll say it does take a while, because I didn't know how to get about it. So I finished my certification. I started teaching only after my certification. And it was so difficult for me because I didn't know where to get my clients from, who to approach, how exactly to start taking my classes. So all these questions come at you once you actually go out there to start teaching, right?
yeah,
And where to approach, which institute or which studio to go to, and what kind of yoga are you going to teach, what's your style going to be. You want to stand out, you don't want to be
yeah,
another face in the crowd, so you want to find your own identity. So there's just so much happening to you initially. But I'd say don't fret, don't get flustered, just keep your calm, believe in what you do, and do it to your fullest. Just give your 100% every day to your work, and you will find it. So for me, it took around 6 months. So I was teaching, I was going to friends' houses, I was going to, word of mouth. My friends' parents would tell someone else, and they'll be like, oh, do you want to, teach another friend? And I'd be like, yeah, why not? So I used to go to like people's houses very often to teach them yoga. I used to apply in these gyms where they'd ask you to teach yoga. But for me, gyms never personally worked out, because there was like loud music on one side where people are lifting weights and
yeah,
doing their HIIT workouts, and on the other side I'm trying to take a yoga class, but it is so difficult for me to collect myself, get that energy, because everyone's so distracted and it's so noisy. So I have gone through my ups and downs in the initial 6 months of
yeah.
me starting to teach.
So
And the pay at that time, because you're so fresh, you're so new, you're so young. So I was so scared people are not going to take me seriously because I am so small. So
mhm,
and that did happen, because they're like, okay, she's young, what experience does she have? Maybe we can just, give her only this much for her salary. And it was very difficult for me to in initially, I will not lie, but I had to keep my ground, stand my ground, believe in myself, and keep pushing. And now I can happily say that I get a very, very good staple each month through my online classes, through my different clients that I have. And because of the loyalty of my students, the word of mouth is getting, bigger and bigger, spreading more and more. Even social media is helping a lot to spread the word out there. And I'm getting new fresh clients. And if you believe in your work, and if you think you're doing a good job, I'm telling you, students will stay, loyalty will give side with you, and your community is just going to grow. And from there you will start seeing profit, you will start seeing growth even in your income. So don't fret it. It'll take some time, it is a process, but at the end of it, you are I personally am making a good amount of income at the moment. So I'm very happy. And I know that there is just, growth ahead of me. There is just more to come. So that's the exciting part. Yeah.
Great, nice. So I'd like to just sum it up by saying that, uh, like, but just by working, say, 1 hour a day, you can at least make more than half your salary of a corporate job. So 1 hour a day a month. So that's for the women out there who are wondering what to do.
That's an important point I forgot to mention, but yes, very good.
For women who are wondering what's going to happen if you quit your job. So you should never feel hesitation. Like as Rhea said, that in the beginning she was wondering how she's going to start. But believe you me, that there are a lot of people out there who need yoga teachers. And somebody said that all trainers of every kind, whether they're meditation trainers or yoga or tai chi or reiki or whatever, they call light workers. So that's the term that's used for them. And we bring the healing energy in through yoga. And of course, any physical fitness is good. Like even a walk has tremendous benefits, and so does cardio. Like for different things, different things are suggested. But yoga definitely, I would say, because I've been in yoga for more than 20 years now, so it has a lot of benefits. And other than just the remuneration, I think it gives me immense satisfaction that I've helped so many people. And I have some of my clients who've been with me for 13, 14 years. And there's a lady who's had brain surgery, and she's had a paralysis stroke, and she comes to my class regularly, and she's working out with everybody else. And sometimes I feel she's as strong as everybody else. And so yoga makes you healthier. It's a pain-free way of recovering, and all your health parameters can improve, whether it's diabetes or hypertension or any other metabolic syndromes. All that can improve, and you can improve your lifestyle with yoga. You can bring a routine into your life and personal health. And so in short, yoga will definitely change your life, and help you change the life of others if you become a trainer. So yeah, so we have some more questions on the Facebook live. So I will just read them out. So there are questions about how long was your course that you did, Rhea? So
my course, so there are 3 levels to my course. I've done only level 1, and the first level was a 1-month course of 250 plus hours.
okay.
It was a residential course, so we were there for I had to stay at the shala for the entire course of the 1 month.
Okay.
We got only Sundays off. We were working Monday to Saturday, and our day started at 5 in the morning and ended at 9:30 in the night.
Oh, okay. Long hours.
So yeah, that's the first level. Yeah, that's just the first level. There are 2 more levels, which I am hoping once this pandemic clears out a little, they will be, having it. It was supposed to be held in October. Unfortunately, they're still contemplating whether to have it or not. But as soon as they're open, I'll be sure to be there.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So now we have another question about, 1 second. What efforts are you making to improve your earning from yoga? So I think you covered that already. Yes, I think Rhea has covered that. Like, it's always word of mouth spreads from one satisfied client to another. So we have
And
covered.
also, to just add to this, you don't only get job offers for only teaching classes or taking personal classes. There are many other, job avenues that open up
Right.
once people know what you're doing, what work you're doing. There, a company approached me to, write a script for them for a couple of videos they're making. So if you have the knowledge, if you know the terminologies, if you know the subject well, you can also venture out into so many different avenues just with that knowledge. And a lot of people with a lot of different ideas do come and approach you. So it's not just teaching yoga, it is a lot that you can do with this course
Yeah.
or this path that you choose to take. Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. So that was well said. And thank you so much, Rhea. I think we've come to the end of this session and we've covered all the questions. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And it's a pleasure to have you all listen in to Rhea and me. And we thank you again from the bottom of our hearts and hope to see you in the future. Thank you so much.
So
Thank you, Rhea. Thank
thank,
you.
thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
good talking to you. Thank you.
Wonderful talking to you also. Thank you, Rhea.